Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Nirvadi Paschatya Deshaparini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Nirvadi Paschatya Deshaparini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Govinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Aura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna, welcome everyone. We will continue Bhagavad Gita study from chapter 1 today. So this month is very auspicious, Damodar Mas. Every day morning we sing Damodar Ashtakam in preferably in temple or at home, and offer lamp to Lord Damodara. So it will be auspicious. Today we could not arrange, but most likely from next week we'll do it here also. Yeah, yeah. So we'll discuss at the time next week the pastime, and yeah, we'll do it together. Yeah. So yeah. So this course is 108 sessions, 30 minutes each, but we'll cover in less number of sessions, little more material. So it will be like 80 sessions is what I'm expecting. Okay. Yeah. So this topic is from me to we consciousness. Bhagavad Gita, how many chapters it has? 18 chapters. How many verses it has? 700 verses. Yeah. And the first 6 chapters focus on karma yoga, how to act in this world. And then 7 to 12 chapters focuses on bhakti yoga. Yeah. And then 13 to 18. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the, and then, so it's like the centerpiece has the essence. Just like, in a sandwich, what is the most essential thing? The center. So it's like a sandwich. The most important knowledge was kept at the middle by Lord Krishna, right? Yeah. So the first chapter is titled in Sanskrit Arjun Vishada Yoga. In English, it's titled as Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukṣetra. So just to set some context, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata, right? It is also called Gita Upanishad. Anyone guess why it is called Upanishad? Mahabharata is a itihas, but within that, Bhagavad Gita is a portion of knowledge which is considered as an Upanishad. Upanishad is Shruti. Shruti is an eternal. Shruti is Shruti Smriti, the distinction we discussed in the past. Smriti is contextual, and Shruti is an eternal wisdom. Generally, Vedas are Shruti. Okay, especially in Vedas, there are Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads. Upanishads is the core philosophical essence of Vedas. Okay, there is Isha Upanishad, Mundak Upanishad. There are many Upanishads like that. There are 11 essential Upanishads. But this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is also called Upanishad. Why? Even though it is an itihas, within that it is directly spoken by Lord Krishna himself. So because it is directly spoken by Lord Krishna, there is this is the only wisdom that is spoken by the Supreme Lord directly. So that's why in the whole Vedic wisdom, Bhagavad Gita is considered the most essential wisdom. It has the fundamental foundations as well as complete knowledge. It can be expandable and understandable to understand everything. Yeah. So that's why it's called Upanishad. And so to set some context, there are 3 brothers, Dhritarashtra, Pandu, and Vidura of Kuru dynasty. And Pandu was the king because the elder brother Dhritarashtra was blind by birth. And he was ruling, but at a young age, one time he goes to forest, and unfortunately he was shooting a deer. In the process, the arrow hits a sage, Kindama, and his wife. They were together at the time, and this arrow hits them, and the Kindama curses Pandu that he would die whenever he comes close to his wife. That was the curse. He had 2 wives, Madri and Kunti. Madri was the younger and Kunti was the elder. He was very pious king, Pandu, very valorous king. Uh, and he was sharing kingdom with Dhritarashtra, even though Dhritarashtra was blind. Whenever he was in, he was very, uh, he loved to be in forest much of the, a lot of times, and he would install Dhritarashtra as the king when he was out. They were assisted by Vidura as a minister. Unfortunately, Pandu had a premature death, and before that, actually, he was, once he hears the curse from says Kindama, he decides to stay more of the time in forest. Okay, and in the forest they had five children, three by the elder Kunti, and all of these children were divine invocations. They are not by union of husband and wife. So first one is Yudhishthir or Dharmaraj, and then second is Bhimsen, third is Arjuna, fourth and fifth Nakula and Sahadeva by Madri. The first three sons, all the five sons were divine children. They're all born by invoking the demigods, and it was a boon with Kunti. She helped Madri also to get two children. She got three children herself. So that was the story. And Pandu, while he was in the forest, he, has an untimely death. And then temporarily Dhritarashtra was installed until the children is supposed to, grow old and be ready to take over the kingdom, the Pandus, right? Because he was the current king. That was the understanding at the time. But Dhritarashtra got attached to the kingdom and also very much attached to his elder son, Duryodhan, who is very uh, cunning and wicked, right? And as children, they would come back, children, Kunti, and after the untimely death of Maharaj Pandu, they all, Kunti, Madri actually, she puts herself on pyre along with Pandu and she passes away and keeps her two children in the hands of Kunti. So all the five children and Kunti, they all come back to the kingdom in under Dhritarashtra's rule. However, Dhritarashtra was very, partial to his own children. He wanted his children to be the next king. That was going on in his mind. And they made several arrangements in the while the children were growing. They made many arrangements in which they would try to kill the Pandavas, the five children of Pandu. One time they tried to give poison to Bhimsen, poisonous cake, because he's fond of eating, and they use that to give him a poisonous cake. But then he becomes invincible. Actually, he goes under water and is blessed by Varun Dev. So, and then they also try to kill through in a lake house, right? And many other attempts were done as well to kill, but at every time they were protected by Lord. And Vidura also. Vidura is also very favorable to them. So in this way, and finally, what happened was they were invited for a gambling match. This is the ultimatum, where they were all cheated with the help of Shakuni, Uncle Shakuni, and they were all sent for 13 years of exile, 12 years of exile, and 1 year of incognito. They were sent out to, having got defeated, right? So, and they all go out after completion of 12 years. They would, come back to the, 13 years. They would come back and want to be the rulers, right? Naturally, they were the heir apparent. However, Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana specifically, now he's grown up. He would say that I would not give land that would fit the eye of the needle to these people. And they were surprised by these statements. And the five Pandavas are very, accommodative. They said, okay, we don't need anything. We just need five villages. We are Kshatriyas. Kshatriya dharma is to rule. So please give 5 villages and we'll take care. We don't need anything more. Even that is not agreeable to Kauravas, and Dhritarashtra, he could have done something, in between. He's like elderly person. If he says, if he is supportive, this could have happened. But he tried to be neutral and tried to never support Pandavas. And he would always put blame on Duryodhana, saying, hey, my son is not agreeing. What should I do? What can I do? He's not agreeing. Finally, Lord Krishna comes as a mediator. He also tries to convince them. Even Lord, the Supreme Lord's, mediation also failed, and they could not convince, and they tried to arrest Krishna in the process. And Krishna shows his Vishnu, and they just get scared. At that time, Duryodhana felt maybe Krishna is God, but then maybe he's a magician. He cannot be God. And then they leave him, but then nothing happened. So war was inevitable, and there are many kings who are supportive of both sides. In fact, like Duryodhana had around 12 or 13 Akshauhinis, like lakhs of people on his side, and Pandavas had 7 Akshauhinis, and all of them have decided to assemble for a war in the place called Kurukṣetra. That was the place decided for the war, because war was inevitable now. So that was the setting in which Bhagavad Gita was spoken. And Lord Krishna, both, everybody was, running around to get the support of on their side, right? Before the war began, just like politicians go door to door to get votes. Duryodhana and Arjuna, both of them go to Krishna at the same time. The picture there, I think. Yeah, so see the picture here. So Krishna was sleeping. He was in, I think, Dwarka there. So they go to there. Both of them goes to ask for support on the same day, same time, early in the morning, 5:30. Lord was resting in his, home in his palace, and Arjuna was, standing at the feet. Duryodhana felt, why I should stand at the feet? I'll go to the head. He goes to the head. So he was at the head. Naturally, when Lord Krishna woke up, he saw Arjuna at the front, So Lord Krishna asked, what do you want? Both of you want, both of them, said their situation, hey, war is going to start, so we want your support. Both of them said. So Lord said, okay, here is the condition. Either you can take me, but I am not going to participate in the war, or you take my Narayana Sena, all my 10,000 warriors I'm going to give you. My Narayana Sena, they're all equally powerful as me. You can take all of them, they will participate in the war. Choose one of the two. And so who should choose the first? That is the next question, right? So both of them are there because Lord saw Arjuna first. Lord asked Arjuna, you choose, right? So, and he's also younger of the two. So he was very clear. He chose Krishna. Krishna, even if you are neutral, I just want you. Duryodhana was very happy. Thank God he chose Krishna. Krishna is anyway not going to participate. It's not of any use. At least I got people who can help me, fight in the war. He was only looking at resourcing, He thought this is just a arrangement of resources. That's all he thought. So it was decided. Duryodhana said, okay, what? I don't have any choice. I'll pick up Narayan Sena. So that was, that was arranged. So the war is about to start, and, The people assembled on the first day. And because being neutral, I want to be there. So Krishna said, I'll be the chariot driver for Arjuna. So he was driving the chariot, and they all assembled. All the Kaurava assembly has assembled, and all the Pandava, kings and lakhs of people. So in both sides there are family men, right? The uncles, brothers, cousins, you name it, like all the family, half divided here and half divided here. So it was a family war, very tough war, right? Like you're here to kill each other. Yeah, situation wasn't good. I mean, but unfortunately it happened. And Arjuna, looking at all this, he had fought so many wars before, but this was like he was overtaken by emotions, looking at the situation, right? Yeah.
Mentioned that the Lord was like went to convince to Duryodhana or to convince to keep some of the things to your brother. That time he was very angry and he was trying to arrest him. So after that, again, why he went to ask for help? He already angry on him, and then he himself saying that he's supporting Arjuna.
Yeah, because he is related to both of them, Krishna. Everybody has an option to go and ask.
But on side he is showing that I am angry and trying to arrest him. So when anybody nowadays is trying to arrest him, and then after that he feel that okay, this person is going to help him.
Yeah. He tried his best. It doesn't mean that maybe, because they are both related. By the way, Balaram was a teacher of Duryodhana. You know that? He is the one who taught him mace fighting. And he skilled more than anybody else, including. So his brother is always favorable in a way, like as a disciple, right? So it's not like Lord Krishna did not take negatively, he's just neutral still. And yeah, so both Balaram didn't want to participate because his disciple is on the one side and his desired people on the other side. So he said, I'll go. So there are three people. Vidura went away without joining anybody. And then Balaram went away. Krishna also neutral. So all these three were neutral. Yeah. So Lord did not mind. That's the answer. Yeah. So we already discussed the 18 chapters. The first 6 chapters. So it's like a jewel box. The 18 chapters are like a jewel box, right? There is a jewel inside. The first 6 chapters are the lower covering of the jewel box. And the last 6 chapters are the jewel studded lid of the box. And the middle chapters is the shining jewel of bhakti is in the middle chapter. Yeah. So there is a beautiful rendition by Adi Shankaracharya in this Gita Mahatmya. He glorifies the Bhagavad Gita's greatness. So let's read this. So Adi Shankara is a great acharya. Have you heard about Adi Shankara? About I think, is it like 1500 years ago or 2000 years ago?
880.
880, yeah. What is it? Yeah, Advaita Siddhanta. Huh. Yeah. Oh, so inside he is a devotee, but he's thought a different philosophy. There is a whole session on we can discuss why he thought. He is an incarnation of Lord Shiva himself. He is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. So in Padma Purana, he speaks about why he comes and teaches Advaita Vedanta. That has a purpose. Because at that time, Lord Buddha eliminated Vedas completely from the face of, Bharat. Bharat. Now Adi Shankara is re-establishing Vedas. To give that, so to bring that faith, he had to preach a philosophy that, shows that you are something. Buddha thought you are nothing. You are nothing. There is no soul, no body. There is no soul. That was the philosophy. Sunyavad, it's called. From there, Lord Adi Shankara thought, you are everything. You are God Himself. What are you saying? You are nothing. No, you are God. Then the people thought, yeah, this is great. So that is Advaita philosophy. And Adi Shankara admits that this philosophy, I thought, to for this to serve that specific purpose, to bring Vedic wisdom again to Bharat again. Yeah. So he drove away Buddhism completely in his time. Yeah. So he sang this, and he is a personal worshipper of Narsingadev. Yeah, when he was there, and he established the temple of in what is it, Himalayas? What is the temple called? I forgot. Huh? In Badrikashram, he established a Lord Krishna's temple also. Yeah. Gita Shastram idam punyam yah patet prayatah puman Vishnu padam avapnoti bhaya shokadi varjitaha. Want to read?
If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one will be freed from all miseries and anxieties in this life, and one will surely attain the abode of Lord Vishnu. Gita Mahatma 1.
Gita dhyana shilasya pranayama parasya cha naiva shanti papain purva janma kritani cha. Yeah.
One read Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the action of his past mistakes will be not back upon him.
Just by reading Bhagavad Gita, one will get rid of all the sins of the past. So later on, Krishna also speaks this, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami masucha. If you surrender to Krishna, he will take away all the reactions of his past life. So just by reading it, so that's why it's important to read Bhagavad Gita at least couple of verses every day. Maline nirmochana pumsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gitamrita snanam samsara malanashanam. Keep it ready. Huh?
One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water, but if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganga's water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Gita Mahatmya.
So when you study Gita, we are, trying to understand the meaning. That is like giving bath to your intelligence every day, intelligence and mind, right? So our intelligence gets purified. You will get better discrimination power. What is right, what is wrong. Right? So every day by reading one or two slokas, we are giving bath to our intelligence. Right? It cleanses. Ganga water is very special. Why? It emanated from Yeah, before that, it originally emanated from the lotus feet of Lord, right? So the hole was made in the Vamanadev when he made hole from higher planets, Ganga water flew from spiritual world. So that's why it is pure, because the force is so much. Lord Shiva has taken, it on his head to slow down and make it flow. So Lord Shiva was so happy to host it on his head. He was very kind. And Ganga has the power. If you even take one bath, it purifies your existence. Ganga is all pure, all pure. So just like Ganga is very pure, Bhagavad Gita is very pure. It just purifies your intelligence. Gita Sugita Kartavya Kimanyai Shastra Vistarai Yashavam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padma Vinishrita. So Padmanabhasya Mukha Padma Vinishrita. So it was coming from the lotus mouth of the Lord. So Lord's mouth is like lotus. It's so beautiful. So from his mouth directly coming these words. So take shelter of this. Yeah.
Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, is sufficient because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. This is sufficient. This is be and end. All. End of all. So one should attentively and regularly. Attentively means you should focus. You should not be doing like a mechanical reading. Regularly means every day. Bharatamrita Sarvasvam Vishnu Vaktrad Vinishritam Gita Gaidokam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyate.
One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of the Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu. Gita Mahatmya.
This is the core essence of Mahabharata and spoken by Lord himself directly. This is the ultimate verse. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopal Anandana Pardho Vatsahu Sudhir Bhokta Dugdam Gitamritam Mahat. Yeah, please read.
This Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking his cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita.
See, Vedas are the body of a cow, right? Some cow fans are here laughing. And Lord Krishna is the expert milkman, right? So, and first the calf is Arjuna. First serving is to Arjuna, right? So Arjuna gets the first serving milk. Once the cow gives milk to the calf, it's not, cow always has more milk than it can be drunk by the calf. So Lord Krishna is extracting that essence and giving it to the people of this world, right? So if the Upanishads are the body of cow, what is the most essential aspect of the cow? It's udder and the milk. So that milk essentially is extracted by Lord Krishna from all of the Vedic wisdom. Krishna extracted the most essential wisdom and is serving all of us. Yeah, that's the milk. Milk is the essence. So this Gita wisdom is the essence. It's the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. Ekam shastram devaki putram tu putragitam eko deva devaki putreva eko mantras tasya nama namani yani karmapye kama tasya devasya deva seva. Yeah, please read.
In this present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, let there be one scripture only, Bhagavad Gita. Let there be one God for the whole world, Sri Krishna, and one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his name, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and let there be one God only, the service unto him, with a Mahatma 7.
Yeah. See, this is Adi Shankara saying all of this. Let there be one God, be that be Krishna. And let there be one name that everyone chants. What is that? Yeah, Hare Krishna. Or he himself sang, there is a song called Bhaja Govindam. Have you heard about that? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. So there was one person, very old person. He was, trying to study Sanskrit grammar at a old age. So Adi Shankara saw this and he tells him, "Oh, old man, at this age, what is the point of studying Sanskrit grammar? This is the time you should focus on chanting the holy name and study Gita, right? Just Bhaja Govinda, just chant the name of Govinda. That is going to help you instead of studying Sanskrit grammar at this age, right? You're wasting your time." So even Adi Shankara was teaching to chant the name of Govinda. So we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? Yeah. So let there be one God for the whole world, Sri Krishna. And one mantra, Hare Krishna, one prayer, the chanting of his name, and one work, which is service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So this is how they all assembled, right? So Arjuna is witnessing the armies on the opposite side, and he's seeing his uncles, grandfather. Oh my, he started shaking suddenly. And Krishna was laughing at him, he knows what is happening in the mind because he is the Supreme Paramatma, right? He knows. Yeah. Yeah. So this is how we can divide the 3 sections. Chapter 1 to 6, learn to work in the right way, Karma Yoga. For who? For Krishna. That is middle chapters. And then do what? While living in this world. That is the last 6 chapters. So that's how you can summarize, right? Learn to work for Krishna while living in this world. This is devotee's interpretation. The nature of the world is described vividly in the last 6 chapters. So one may say, hey, after understanding bhakti, you understand that Lord Krishna is the supreme and to perform bhakti is the essential duty of every jiva. Bhagavad Gita should have ended, right? The essential wisdom is done. Then why the last 6 chapters are given? Important. Guess. Huh? Yeah, we all still have a body. Can't get away from it, right? So you have to live in this world. To perform bhakti, you have to continue to live in this world. So how do you live in this world? You need, so that for that you need to understand how this world operates, how the energies of this world operates, how the three modes of material nature work. So you understand and mold your life to perform bhakti properly, right? So that's why the last 6 chapters are given. How to live in this world. Yeah. Now we'll begin the first verse. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Yeah. Anyone from here? First row. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. We'll repeat after you. Is that okay? Yeah. Uvacha.
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre
समवेतायुत्सवा
Samaveta
पाण्डवाश्चैव
Mamaka Pandavaschaiva
किमकुर्वत सञ्जय
Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Anyone else want to read? Yeah. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Anyone else? This is the first verse, famous verse. Okay. So, set some more context. You see here, this is a dialogue between Dhritarashtra and his personal assistant, Sanjaya. How are these people suddenly coming into the play? So, this war is happening in Kurukṣetra. And Sanjaya is not in the Kurukṣetra. He is in the palace with Dhritarashtra, but his spiritual master, Vyasadeva was the spiritual master of Sanjaya. He gives him a benediction to actually witness the war that is happening in Kurukṣetra through a special darshan. It's like a dur darshan, right? In those days also that power was there. So he was blessed with that dur darshan. So he was able to see in the eye of his mind what's happening in the war battlefield, right? And Dhritarashtra is with him, and so the whole dialogue is an exchange between the two, Dhritarashtra and Sanjaya. So as the war is happening, or as the incidents are, as the dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna is happening, Sanjaya is narrating all of that to Dhritarashtra while sitting in the palace, right? Yeah. So the first inquiry comes from Dhritarashtra. The beginning is Dhritarashtra's words. He says, Dharmakshetre Kurukṣetre. This Kurukṣetra, before this war happened also, this is a very famous place. And it is a place of pilgrimage before that itself. So he was concerned. Dharmakshetre Kurukṣetra. Hey, these people have assembled in this Dharmakshetra. And they all assembled with, enthusiasm. Samaveta Yutsava. They all assembled together with, special enthusiasm. Mamaka Pandavaschaiva. So he is differentiating between his own sons. Mamaka, Mam Aka means my children, and Pandavaschaiva. In fact, everyone is Kurus, but he's differentiating. My children and the Pandavas who have assembled there. Kima Kurvata Sanjaya, what are they doing? What do they do? Everybody knows, they are assembled to fight, right? But he had certain doubts because this place is a place of pilgrimage. Generally, in a pilgrimage place, the place has an influence, right? When you go to a pilgrimage site, for example, you all go to temple. When you are in the temple, will you ever shout against a person? No. Generally, your psychological systems work in a different way. Now, this place is a Dharmakshetra, and all of these people have assembled. He has two doubts, especially. He was thinking maybe this place is going to favor the righteous. He knows who is righteous. Pandavas are righteous. So maybe can it be possible that this place would help Pandavas? Secondly, can this place influence my children who are about to fight to not fight? He doesn't want them to not fight. He wants them to fight and win the war and kill the Pandavas. That was his inner desire. So he was asking this doubt, my children and these Pandavas, they have assembled, what are they doing there? Yeah. So he was desirous. What is the desire of Dhritarashtra? That his children do not stop fight. They continue to fight. And the place not influence their, in any positive way to influence, to help Pandavas, right? So those are his desires. Yeah. He was doubtful because, if the place would influence them not to fight, fearful of the positive influence of this place. He was still hopeful that this fight would happen and his children would win because they are the stronger side, in the battle. They had the more Akshohinis, and Bhishma Dev, the most invincible warrior, is in their side. He was hopeful that the war will be won by Kauravas, right? So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada's purports are very powerful. We'll read some of those purports, not all the details. So we'll highlight some content and read them. Maybe you can read the highlighted part.
Kurukṣetra, the father.
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra, the father of the Kurus, did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battle. Because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukṣetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as a place of worship, even for the denizens of heaven. Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Bindu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous.
Yeah. So we already discussed that. Okay.
As,
Yeah. You can read the bold-faced. Yeah.
as in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of this topic that in the religious field of Kurukṣetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's son Duryodhana and others would be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthira would be established by the Lord. This is the significance of the words Dharmakshetra and Kurukṣetra apart from the historical and Vedic importance.
Yeah. Now there are acharyas, Baladev Vidya Bhushan and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Sometimes we read through them as well to get some more understanding of this. So this is mentioned in Jabal Upanishad that this Kurukṣetra is pilgrimage site. Yeah. So under its influence, will my sons give up their animosity and give the kingdom to Pandavas? That was his doubt. Yeah. And the Pandavas are naturally followers of Dharma. So then both sides would have intelligence to see that they should not kill their own relatives and friends and would negotiate peace. So he was worried, oh, will there be a negotiation of peace? He doesn't want. He just wants Pandavas to be wiped. Or will perhaps the Pandavas consider at this place of dharma that it is best to go to forest out of fear of committing adharma in the form of destruction of the family traditions by fighting? Yeah. Yeah, so they were worried, Pandavas may go to forest again. They don't want the existence of Pandavas, even though they don't want the, kingdom. Yeah. Externally, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, externally he showed who Dhritarashtra showed Sanjaya, he would be relieved if there was no fight. He is speaking as if, he will be relieved, but actually internally he wanted to restrain his depression. He already, once he saw the situation, he felt a little bit doubtful what's going to happen, right? But he has, this confidence that Bhishma is there on their side, right? And Baladev Vidyabhushan, by not mentioning that the Pandavas were also his relatives, yeah, he shows Mamaka, the word Mamaka is very, very, shows his bodily attachment towards his son, right? And his hatred towards others. Yeah. Even though all of them belong to the same family, he claimed only Kauravas are the 100 children. In fact, everybody is Kaurava actually, because everybody is Kuru dynasty only. He always referred Pandavas as, Pandu's children as Pandavas separately, right? Only his sons he is claiming as Kurus. Yeah, this is, we already discussed, this is Kurukṣetra. Yeah. So now this is the essential message from me to we consciousness. So here, if you see the nature of Dhritarashtra, what is he exhibiting here? My children and Pandavas, they have assembled, what are they doing? That was his question, right? So he was clearly showing me consciousness, right? When people of this world, especially the leaders, when we are in this me consciousness, I should rule, or things should go according to my will. Like Trump saying, okay, America should win, nobody else, right? This is exactly Dhritarashtra's consciousness, unfortunately, right? This is exactly what happens. Wars would happen, right? Yeah. So from me to we consciousness, we can see how, right? Yeah, so this is how Sanjay is witnessing. Yeah. So we can see some examples. So this is actually Devaki and Vasudev. Vasudev, Vasudev, who is the father of Lord Krishna, right? Yeah. So when the marriage happened between Devaki and Vasudev, right? On the first day when they were being taken to the family of Vasudev, you know who was the chariot driver? Kamsa. Kamsa, who was, brother of Devaki, agreed to be the chariot driver. But as soon as the chariot, they started on the chariot, he was happily riding, he was taking his sister to the, to the husband's place. Suddenly Akashvani came. I think this, yeah. So he was hearing the Akashvani, and the Akashvani says, "Oh, fool, you are, you are carrying somebody whose seventh child is going to be the cause of your death." Suddenly his mood changed. You can see the picture here. From being a happy brother, he suddenly pulled off his knife, and right there he hold, if seventh son of this lady is going to be the reason for my death, let me kill her right away. So then there is no there is nobody is going to be born. So he immediately catches hold of the hair of his own sister and ready to chop off her head. This is called my consciousness. When things will just turn around, there is no tolerance. Just like Trump turned around. As soon as things don't go his way, suddenly there is a fight. It happens everywhere, not just Trump, right? We see people in offices, in our own families, we see all the time when people show their own nature. Until then, family get together, everything is good. But suddenly, when their own, ego is touched, their real self will comes out. Correct? Yeah. So you see how his nature is. So this is called me consciousness. We have to be careful, not guard against, because this is all bodily consciousness. I have to safeguard myself over anybody else and everything else. Yeah. So he was able to. So Vasudev tried to give some reasons. Oh, it's the eighth child. No, I'm going to give you the eighth child. He'll somehow convince Kamsa and stop the killing, killing of Devaki at the time. That guy got a shock, Vasudev got a shock. Like, right now they just got married. Now this guy is chopping the head of his wife. Imagine, right, somebody in that situation. Like, it's such a emotional trauma. Yeah. There is.
You're not able to see heading because of
There is a pop-up setup. Okay, here I don't see. Let me share it again. Yeah, just a second. Okay. Here, one more. No, this is Kamsa only. Same thing, same picture, different. As soon as their, personal, their ego is touched, people show their original nature. We see in families especially, right? Until their ego is satisfied, people are good, everything is good. But as soon as their ego is touched, immediately their self-interest is touched, right? People show their actual nature. Yeah, this is another incident when Lord Krishna, after giving came as a peace messenger to stop the war, right? One final attempt. After Lord Krishna leaves, Dhritarashtra was confused. Am I doing the right? Lord also came. My wife is telling, everybody is telling not to fight. Then he calls his brother Vidura. Vidura is a very, impartial advisor. He calls him again. You tell me what is right for me. Vidura comes and tells, you're holding your stupid son. Kick him out of the kingdom. He is the reason for all, confusion and war. No, he is a, Kali personified. You should just kick him out. Then your life will be auspicious. At that time, suddenly Duryodhana comes. He hears this. Imagine his anger, like he gets mad at Vidura. he blasts, even though he is fatherly figure, before everybody in the assembly, he says, this son of a kept mistress, he should be kicked out with breath. Don't leave him right here. Just kick him out with only the dress. He is a minister. He is the essential prime minister advisor of the Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra watches and doesn't speak a single word supporting his brother. And finally, Vidura leaves. His heart was pierced by the words of Duryodhana. Then he realized, something worst is going to happen to these guys because they're so adharmic. And he lives on a pilgrimage. He takes this as an opportunity to go on a pilgrimage. So that's how devotees see. Even though it is such an insulting situation, he lost all his wealth. Imagine somebody losing all his wealth in a matter of minutes. Now he goes on a pilgrimage all alone to various places without any. He was having ministerial support until now. Now he has no person to even speak. In old days, he goes out and to various pilgrimage sites, right? I'm teaching Bhagavatam also. There we are in this chapter where Vidura inquires Uddhava about Lord Krishna's welfare. There's a very beautiful verses come there. Yeah, but it was very heart-touching conversation there. Yeah, so he leaves. It also shows Duryodhana's nature. Even though he was treating him as an uncle until now, suddenly as soon as he was insulted, ego is touched. True nature comes out, right? This is another story. Again, Srimad Bhagavatam teaches about this. Is King Uttanapada. He had two wives, Surichi and Suniti. Right? Surichi is the stepmother. Surichi is the younger and more beautiful wife of the king Uttanapada. And she had a son named Uttama, right? Uttama. His name is Uttama. And the king is bodily attached, and he was naturally attached to his beautiful wife Suruchi. Not so much to his elderly wife, the other elder wife, Suniti. Dhruva was the son of Suniti, the elder one. One time, the king was sitting like this. In his hand was Uttama, the son of his favorite wife. Suruchi is sitting there right beside, his seat. Suddenly, Dhruva sees the other brother, the younger brother, being cajoled by father. What happens when a son sees? Naturally, they like to sit on the other side, right? So Dhruva wants to be also in the lap of the father. So he quickly runs and comes, Papa, get me onto your lap. Mother Surichi sees that the other son is now here, the son of his co-wife. She knows that she is the favorite wife of Uttanapad. She speaks to Dhruva, saying, you are not eligible to be in the hands of your father. You are not qualified. For you to be qualified to be held by your father, like my son, you need to take birth in my womb. Was like blood boiling to the boy, Dhruva. He's a young boy, 6 years, but he's a Kshatriya, right? So there is a long story. I don't want to go into that. But this shows the bodily attachment of both Suruchi and Dhruva in this whole episode. Immediately he looks at his father for support. Like, you are being burned away from inside. He was looking at father, you do something, say something. Say that, hey, no, I want to, I take my son. The father was afraid of his his wife. He doesn't want to, break his connection with his wife, or don't want to say anything against his favorite wife. He keeps silent. This is intolerable to Dhruva. You know what he does? It's a long story. He goes on to forest, just gives up the family as a young boy, 6-year-old boy. And he goes to his mother and asks, I want a kingdom better than my father. Can you imagine? A 6-year-old boy, no matter what, I want a kingdom better than my father. 6-year-old boy. And he finally gets kingdom better than his father. But I'm not going to the story, but that's what happens. This is exactly how conflicts happen in families, because ego comes all because of bodily attachments. Even in the world today, we see all because of bodily attachments. You can see from in the eyes of Gita wisdom how me consciousness brings about wars in the world. You see, every country is acting selfishly in today's world. So all this selfishness will yield battles. So that's what is going to happen in the near future. Similarly, the story of Kaikeyi, polluted by mantras association. We all know how Ram was sent out, right? Because of Kaikeyi. Yeah, so bad association brings about me consciousness, in our own life. On the other side, one time when Yudhishthira Maharaj was in this, they were these, in this 12 years episode, right? At one time, they, all the brothers go for fetching some water, and they all were, like given a death blow by Yaksha. There is a Yaksha in those waters. The Yaksha kills them. All the Pandavas were killed. 4 of them were killed. Yaksha says, you answer my questions, otherwise you'll be killed. So all the 4 brothers were killed, and finally Yudhishthir goes. You all know the story, right? Mahabharata story. And he finally answers Yaksha's question, and he is able to revive all the brothers. Oh no, not all the brothers. Yaksha says, okay, you can revive one brother. You know what he chooses? Whom he chooses? He chooses Nakul. I am the children of Kunti. My mother has one son, and my stepmother should have another child. So he always had seen broadly, right? Never be, it's a we consciousness, not me consciousness. When people are we conscious, then that is proper consciousness, right? We should not be selfish. So Dharmaraj, Pandavas exhibited this we consciousness always. And even when they went back, after the 13 years of exile, they should have asked, we'll just rule. No matter, you guys just get out of this place. They could have asked for that. They have the rights. But they were ready to share. If Yudhishthir was given the kingdom, he would have been happy to give 50% of the kingdom to Duryodhana and his brothers. But they didn't give that chance, right? So that was the nature of Pandavas. Yeah. At one point, when Pandavas were in the exile, Duryodhana comes there to show his power, how he is powerful. You know what happened in that when some Gandharvas actually attacked them, all the Kauravas, and they almost defeat all the Kauravas. Karna also gets defeated in that fight, and all Duryodhana, Dussasana, everybody gets defeated. They're almost getting killed. At that time, suddenly the Pandavas notice what is happening, and they realize that brothers are there. Bhima says, let them get killed, we want to kill somehow, these guys are getting killed by Gandharvas. No. Yudhishthira says, no, we should not think like that. For the world, we are 105. When we are, Within our family, maybe we have some differences, but for the world, we are together. We are 105. Let's go and help, these Kurus or the Dhritarashtra 100 brothers, right? So they go and Arjuna single-handedly kicks out all of them, Gandharvas. They in fact give boons to Arjuna at the end. And in fact, Duryodhana also gives boon to Arjuna. He says, you ask me any boons, I'll fulfill. You want kingdom, I'll give you. He'll say that. But anyway, no, he says, we'll get kingdom our way, whenever we are ready. Arjuna would not compromise. He's like, no, it's very interesting. So that shows again Pandava's weak consciousness. You see?
That wasn't wise.
That wasn't?
Wise.
That wasn't wise? No, why?
You could have prevented the war, you could have prevented the millions of soldiers getting killed.
Who knows all this war? They thought, so they will help. If you help suddenly, sometimes what happens, the other person realizes, yes, they're seeing themselves as brothers. So Pandavas thought this would create some goodwill. Even though they have seen all these negative qualities in them, they were thinking, okay, let's help. And maybe that will change the hearts of Kurus. They were almost getting killed. Now we are saving them. Maybe this would change their heart. That's what they were expecting. They're trying everything to avoid the war.
In the end, Duryodhana did give the boon to take the kingdom. Why did Arjuna say that we will take it back?
Because that is like, you're just giving, it's like a bhiksha, right? They are Kshatriyas. We'll come at the right time. He didn't say we don't want. We'll come at the right time and take it the right way. It's not like, we are dependent on you. So in that moment, Duryodhana felt like, okay, I'll give you. But in his heart, everybody knows what is there, right? Maybe he will change his word. Who knows? You cannot trust a malice person. No? So they didn't accept that. But they have saved them. That's the main thing.
Could have given later also. We had.
Yeah, if he has, yeah. Again, he tries to give them during the war. You know that, right? That story. So he taunts Bhishma. Duryodhana taunts Bhishma. Hey, Bhishma, you are the strongest person. Why are you not fighting strongly against Pandavas? You could have just, kill them in no time. You are so powerful. Bhishma is the most powerful warrior in the whole battlefield. Right? He defeated Parashuram, an incarnation of Lord. He defeated like a lot of people. He's the most valorous person. Bhishma says, what are you speaking? The Supreme Lord is on the other side. What are you talking? He tells them, but he says, you can do this. Krishna is neutral. He's not supporting them. You should be able to kill them. Then he says, okay, all right, I'm going to kill them tomorrow. Keep these 5 arrows with you. Tomorrow give me. If I keep, maybe, who knows, somebody will steal. Duryodhana says, I will keep those 5 arrows with me. Okay. These are the 5 arrows and they are going to kill 5 Pandavas tomorrow. He'll tell that like that. And then Duryodhana says, okay, let me keep the arrows with me safely. And I'll give you tomorrow. That's the arrangement he makes. And then Krishna immediately understands. He is Paramatma, right? He's right in the heart of Duryodhana. He was just moving around. Arjuna and all were, getting ready for sleep. Arjuna, go to the tents of Duryodhana. In those days, after the war was over, in the evening they all come together. They are like family. Arjuna go to the tent of Duryodhana and ask for 5 arrows. He knows everything. So Arjuna didn't understand, and then finally he goes there. At that time, Duryodhana was, he goes to Duryodhana. Duryodhana says, hey Arjuna, why are you here? Do you want the kingdom? I'll give you. Again, he says the same thing. Hey, we are at the war now. Now war is already begun. No going back. We'll take in the right way. But just give me the 5 arrows. Then the bulbs go off to Duryodhana. Again he has a doubt. This must be Krishna. Who else can understand what has happened inside the tent in the evening? Nobody else is there. Only myself and Bhishma are there. Bhishma is already sleeping. So this must be Krishna. Maybe Krishna is gone. Again he gets the doubt. Now no, nothing doing. So he finally, because he has promised, he could have stopped, but he was truthful. He gave those 5 arrows to Arjuna. So that's how it was stopped. Yeah. So anyway. So when we are on the bodily platform, like, I am from this Hindu, I'm Muslim. So that's where the wars happen, right? So these are all bodily conscious designations. I am white, I am black, I am rich, I am poor. Educated or illiterate. So these are all bodily designations. They have nothing to do with our core essence, the soul, right? Beautiful, ugly. These are all bodily consciousness. But when we act on the platform of the soul, right? We all can come together, irrespective of which country we are, which nation we are, which language we speak. We all can speak, we all can connect on the platform of the soul, right? Whether you're a black or a white or Chinese or, doesn't matter, European. Yeah, so people from all walks of life can come together to understand, that they are the soul, not the body. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada has converted these hippies who are the most downtrodden materially, right? The whole Western society has rejected these people. And in them, Srila Prabhupada has aroused Krishna consciousness in them, right? So Krishna consciousness can uplift anybody and everybody. Yeah. So that's the end of, today we didn't cover. Next week we'll cover a lot of verses. Yeah. So next session is align with sacred Lord, not one's crooked thoughts. That was the topic. Any questions? Yeah.
We hear that the war was inevitable. So, I want to understand, why did we say that? Is it because Krishna was the Supreme Lord and it was his will for this war to happen? It was his Yoga Maya that was acting, and it was making the Kauravas work in the way they were working. They were acting to get rid of it. Or it was the free will of the Kauravas.
It is the free will of Kauravas also. Even though Lord came to eliminate these unwanted elements, there is already a lot of many like Jarasandha, Kamsa. There are a lot of wicked elements in the planet Earth at the time. It was a burden. So Bhumi Devi invited, Lord to come and, clear this burden. So Lord has come to eliminate all of this, especially these Kauravas. They are born at the time. They're all very wicked. So it is both. Lord's will is there because there are a lot of wicked people at the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Questions. Were Gandharvas and then
Who were Gandharvas?
Gandharvas, then the Kamsa,
Apsaras? Kamsa.
yeah. So there were Rakshasas and humans. Was the Rakshasa and then Devaki was this is
Yeah. Okay. So in the previous years, there were real demons, like, in Krishna's pastime, you see like Putana, like that. They are like real demons. Kamsa was a cruel king. He's not like in body he is like a human, but he is completely wicked. Right? He is not one who respects Vishnu or religion in general. Right? Yeah, he worked with negative elements. Yeah. And there were demons like Hidimba, they were like Bakasur, all these demons also at the time. So they were part of earthly planet at the time. In the previous phases, they were all there. In Kali Yuga, they were not there. In Kali Yuga, it's all humans with bad mentalities. All the demons are within the heart of all the jivas. Yeah. Gandharvas, yeah, so in those times, Gandharvas were people living in the higher planets. Swargaloka is one higher planet. So Gandharvaloka is also there, which is a higher planet. So there, Gandharvas, they are especially good experts in singing, right? So sometimes they would visit earthly planet as well for excursions. Yeah, at that time they were here, and there was some dispute between Kauravas and Gandharvas. Yeah, any other questions? Or any points you want to speak, each of you? Anything that you learned? You can start. Yeah.
Just have one more question. So, in Ramayana, that's Dwapar Yuga, and we have Sri Ram.
No. Dwapar Yuga is Krishna. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga is Lord Ram. So Lord Ram's first time happened in Treta Yuga.
Where is that time? In
Krishna's time was just before Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga started about 5,000 years ago. Before that was Dwapar Yuga. Generally, Dwa is a 2, right? Dwa means 2. It should come as a second age. But in this particular cycle, it came as a third age. Treta, 3, became the second one this time. There is a switch of Yuga cycle. Chatha Yuga cycle. Yeah. Because Lord Krishna has come in the 28th Chatur Yuga directly in his full manifestation, Purnavatar, only in this age. In other Kali Yugas, or in other Dwapar Yugas, he comes as Vasudeva Krishna. Vasudeva Krishna is different. He's just, he's not going to exhibit all the great pastimes that Lord Krishna has done in this particular time. Yeah.
Is that talking about the Dwapar Yuga from birth? Because like so many things might get changed. Like one example people give is in Satya Yuga, like good and bad lived on other planets. In Treta Yuga, good and bad lived on the same planet, then in the same family in Dwapar, and in the same person in Kali. So one example I'm just giving, the Dwapar like comes after Treta. So many things change, right? Like people's consciousness, like even bad, like from Treta. So
I mean, it's a switch done for only this cycle. I don't know exactly all the
yeah,
nitty-gritty
that's
details.
pretty interesting.
Yeah. Anything else? Or maybe you can share, any takeaways?
One thing I remember is like if all the Vedas are like a cow, Bhagavad Gita is like the udder
Milk.
of the cow, and Arjuna.
Expert, yeah. Coward man, Krishna is milking the essence. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita is the essential wisdom. If you read every day, your intelligence is purified. Yeah. Thank you. Let's make it fast, quickly. One point. Anything that your takeaway.
My takeaway was regarding the question which I had
asked about emotional ideal. So, like what I understood was like um, in that point of time, he didn't know that there was a war which was going to happen. He still thought that he would change his mind and he would become a good person or be saved. And so we should always do what is according to our dharma.
What is our dharma? We should perform what is our. Kauravas always looked for an opportunity to kill Pandavas, right? Either in lack house or or send them away. But even in spite of the other person being so wicked, we should not change our nature. You see that point? That is the most essential. God is always going to protect us if we are dharmic. So this is the most essential point I would say. Even though Pandavas were going through so much turmoil, challenges, they were always protected by Lord. So we will also be protected if we stay on the side of Dharma. That's one very good takeaway. Thank you.
For me, I think I like the I think my takeaway is that even in the toughest of situations, there will be associations which will like force you to think that it's not beneficial for you, like it's thinking selfishly, but then you'll have to overcome that temptation and tabulation, and I think you don't have to listen to those associations and try to see like okay, what is good for together for all of us.
Yeah. So sometimes we may have bad association like mantra for Kaikeyi, and that can spoil us. So we have to have the discrimination. How do you get the discrimination? Daily read Gita. So you are always on the soul platform, not on the bodily platform, right? Otherwise, middle world is going to always pollute your consciousness every day. But when you read couple of verses every day, it keeps your consciousness up. That's why we come together. So we remind ourselves we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Yeah.
Very similar. It's nice to see like all the examples of
I and we
like,
consciousness. Yeah.
just to know like when our own ego gets challenged, we should not like focus on ourselves. We should think about like
Bodily safety. Yeah. Yeah. That's the takeaway. Yeah.
it can help like other.
Yeah. Have a bigger vision, not just your selfish interest.
I have two takeaways from the day. So, first is like, it's our free will that gets us into problems, like our desire for sense gratification, as case of the Kauravas, because they could use their free will to, to take the right decision. And the second one is, in the shloka it's mentioned Dharmakshete, Kurukṣetra. So I understood the significance of why Dhritarashtra mentions it, because he didn't want the fight to get over, he wanted it to happen. And this is his concern.
He wanted the fight to happen and his children to win. Yeah.
We keep it going. Think about like
Yeah, don't just focus on your own self-interest. That's where every war has happened in the world or in families. When people become too selfishly interested, wars happen, fights happen.
The other thing was you should take like terms of chapter. First to 6 and 7 to 30.
7 to? Oh yeah, the middle chapter. Yeah.
Be there. Yeah, that's your working.
Yes. Thank you.
For me, again, it was me consciousness, and it showed how negative emotions in the people comes up, like desire, doubtfulness, fearfulness, hopeful, lack of hope, because of me to be consciousness. And I think people lose their faith in God, and that's when we choose these emotions. Instead, if we have faith in God, I think you can overcome these anxiety and emotions if we have faith and we can choose rightness.
somewhere down the line, we know we are wrong, and that's why these emotions comes up, because we are not putting up faith in Lord, and we're choosing these emotions instead of faith.
Yeah, we should always choose the right and depend on God. God will help somehow, just like Pandavas got timely help every situation they were challenged. Yeah. Lunch. Yeah. Yeah. You can also start having lunch. Those who already, yeah.
For me, Arjuna and Duryodhana both went to Krishna for help, right? And I found like Arjuna was more in the surrender mode, state, and he was just waiting for God to wake up. And he was not pushing hard for asking for things, and he ultimately got the God, right? And he was not even so much analytical, like I did Sena or I did my own things, but he was more looking for what God to offer, right? So I think the surrender is the most useful thing, and also the patience that he showed, right? Arjuna showed. But on the other hand, if you see this Duryodhana, he was analyzing, oh, if you ask for Sena, then what I'm going to get, right? And for short term, he thought like, oh, I got the Sena, I got the best. But at the end, the result was completely opposite.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Krishna Guruji, I really like the way Mr. Maharaj thinks when you share the story of Yakshas or Gandharvas. I don't remember, but when he was asked that which brother you want to make alive. So the way he was thinking is really inspiring.
Right. Yeah.
How we can develop be consciousness.
Always think about others first before yourself. It's very difficult, right? It's not easy. Yeah. If only one person can be revived, you could have always chosen somebody who would help you, right, to win the war. Bhima or Arjuna, but he chose Nakula. Selfless.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So yeah, takeaways for me is the overview of the Bhagavad Gita, like learn to work and thought to how to serve Krishna, and then how to live in this world. The last looking forward to the
Yeah. Thank you.
also that need to be consciousness. Yeah. So the examples given for the were very helpful. I think everybody should like think in that way, and we should like
Yeah.
train
We can
our
avoid so much of conflict and wars.
Okay.
We move from me to we. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I think the one thing that I understood is, why is it important to start reading the Bhagavad Gita, like how the Gangas of water cleans your material bodies stuff, right? So that's way how you want to be stand by the principles, by the law, by the, so to convert yourself from way to be consciousness, right? So all these things will apply to practical life. That's why you need to start reading the Bhagavad Gita, right? Like one of the takeaway, and the other also you mentioned about the Adi Shankaracharya giving, like one Lord, one religion, and one service, right?
Yeah.
That's very, very much important. If one of these
That's true. Yeah. So how many of you want to read a sloka, at least one sloka every day? It takes only 5 minutes. One sloka. Raise your hand if you want to read at least one sloka a day. Okay, awesome. Thank you for signing up.
My takeaway is to like same thing other people say, like how it's totally relevant nowadays, like how people going through like we consciousness to I consciousness. So that is my takeaway. The other thing I like that like how you show the first process and first example with the like with the example like you have given an example to relate with the first process. That's a very nice like reading and like going through the example. Okay. So it's really going through like what is the meaning of like Other thing is scientific terms, so I realize like that how scientific science was advanced in during those days, like nowadays like soldiers like can see directly the what's going on with the nowadays people thinking that the live telecast is happening. But on the day like how the live telecast was happened, so that inside like one person particular person is like but saying that he can be easily listening from there. So it's amazing like how the science was developed in that.
Yeah. So I have one idea. I'm thinking because many of you are part of this, Bhagavad Gita class. If each of you, we all will connect in the evening every day during weekdays only, 5 days. Each of you can sign up to read and share your own understanding of one sloka, right? Like you can sign up for which verse you want to share, and just share with others just whatever you understood. Just read the verse and the purport you would read that day. Each of you can sign up on a day, and basically you would just share your understanding. Everybody listens and they will share their understanding if they have it. It's only like 10 minutes exercise every day. What do you all think? That way we all come together, at least read for 10 minutes, not more. Prabhu, Chaitanya Wala Prabhu, Chaitanya Wala Prabhu, Chaitanya Wala Prabhu. We just discussed about reading Bhagavad Gita. Okay, only 5 minutes. Just each student would read and explain one sloka as they understood. One sloka only.
During the reading session.
During reading session, at the end, or maybe at the beginning.
Very good idea, Prabhu, but I think the prerequisite is that they should first join that.
Yeah. Okay. They don't know how to join.
I have already shared the link. I think everyone knows here.
Okay.
Yeah. And
just share it again,
but,
just in case.
so you both know, right, how to join Nidhi and also.
No,
I
yeah.
shared the link with you, the Google Meet link. Right, so they know.
Just share again once again
Yeah,
today.
I will share for everyone's visibility one more time. The good opportunity, right? The commitment to be in the Bhagavad Gita class was to be able to read scriptures, to chant at least 2 rounds to begin with, not forever. Okay. To 2 rounds and then be, attend the class in person. I think the last one, I think you are all doing very good.